Greetings, everyone. Welcome once again to Everything Mental, a space where we encourage talks about your workspace well-being. As you work, how are you mentally? How are you uh, psychologically? So this is a safe place for you where we discuss everything, and feel free to share comments whenever we release anything. Yes, so I'm Alan Sanyu. With me is
Doreen Chasimere, welcome to Everything Mental.
Doreen.
Alan.
How are you? How are you doing? You look nice in the dress.
Thank you.
Yeah.
How am I? On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm at 8.
Oh wow,
So I
that's
think
good.
that's
That's a good
fair.
one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fairly good. I've been trying to rest a bit, to also do a lot of work within the week.
Wow.
And this month being a women's month, I'm
Mm.
trying also to instill some self-care into my daily routine,
Mm.
to do just a little things, a little tips here and there for me to be okay. But yeah,
Wow.
how are you yourself? How are you
I am
doing?
fine. I'm fine. This week I had interviews with a friend of mine who were interviewing for some positions, and part of the most of the candidates were Gen Zs, and oh my God, that will be a topic for another
For
day.
another day.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So it will be a topic for another day. Yeah. So today, let's get into our day's topic. Today's topic is it's a topic that silently affects most professionals today
Yes.
in the workplace,
And
and
non-professionals.
and
Yeah.
non-professionals, and this is burnout. Burnout at the workplace.
Yes.
Yes, so many people get exhausted at the workplace. They are they are exhausted mentally, emotionally, physically, and they don't even know why
Yeah.
and how they get there.
Yeah.
Yes, so today we dive into that and educate people more about burnout, how it comes, how it
Yeah.
presents itself, and what they can do about it.
And
Yes.
and maybe to like throw more light is that it's not just the days when you're tired, that one day in a week, or that one week where work is so intense at the workplace. But this is a chronic condition, and it is as a result of accumulated stress, and that stress can, like Alan mentioned, it can be physical, it can be mental, it can be psychological. And most people, by the way, they don't notice that they actually
Yes,
have
yes.
burnout.
All of a sudden, they just
Yes.
realize that what used to be a very committed hard worker has lost the zeal to work.
Yes.
They no longer want to be, they are no longer patient. They are no longer motivated. They are no longer motivated like what they used to be. Yes, so this happens over time. What used to be a very confident person now is silenced, and then you wonder what happened, what went wrong. Yes, so where does the employer get to realize this, and where does the employee also understand, okay, now I am getting into burnout?
I think I think I think it also cuts across. Like it can either be
Be
for the employer or the supervisor or manager, but it can also be for the employees, the people who are doing the daily running around and all that. But also in the informal sector, it can also be for someone who is helping you at home, like who is doing the. Imagine we have people in our homes that work year in year out without taking a break, without going back home, without having, without not
and
even,
it usually affects hard
yes,
workers,
and without
very reliable
just
people.
having a Sunday to go to church, for example, to be away from the work. So for me, I think that both the employer and the employee are affected in especially the corporate space. And the employer can notice that through, like you earlier mentioned, sometimes someone loses interest in what they are doing. You find that they are no longer the people that used to run around. Sometimes they don't concentrate more you might be in a meeting and you ask Alan, what's going on? And then someone
They're
will,
absent-minded.
they're absent-minded. Sometimes they might be irritable. They're easily irritable. You ask them something, they lash out. Or you want to have a one-on-one conversation. You find that someone is lashing out. Sometimes they might not entirely show up at work. For those
There's
of us that,
absenteeism.
yes, absenteeism at work. For those of us that have to commute to work. But also in the informal sector, you might just wake up and you come back from work and someone has not done anything at work. And for you, you think that they are big-headed, but when in real sense they are suffering with a chronic condition out of accumulated stress.
And they are summoned for insubordination.
Yes, and also sometimes they might also produce work that is not up to standard, that is not the quality work
which is usually not them.
Yes, the quality work that they used to produce. And then you start putting them in meetings, you think that they are being big-headed, or they are not following the procedures and guidelines at work to produce quality work. But when in real sense that they are experiencing burnout. So as employees, as employers, I think, Alan, you can build on that, on how
the employer.
Yes.
Yeah, so the employer has got to understand, the boss, of course, there is hierarchy. There is someone who reports to the other. So leaders in the workspace have got to create a conducive environment. The environment should be conducive enough that the subordinate and the leader can have dialogue.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, you're not meeting deadlines lately. What's happening?
Yes.
Are you really okay? Are you okay? What's happening around your workspace?
Yeah.
Do you feel like you're overloaded? Then this person will tell you, oh yes, I feel there's an overload on my end, because this usually affects hard workers.
Yes.
Very reliable people. Oh, can you come in on this Saturday? We have this going on. And they'll say yes. So because they are reliable, they get overworked.
Yes.
And then they experience burnout unknowingly. So when there's open dialogue, then the person will be able, the subordinate will be able to share, like, I feel overwhelmed.
Yeah.
I feel I am overloaded with the work. Then now the leader, or the person they report to, will be able to understand, oh, okay, I didn't actually know, but because you're reliable, whenever I call you, you're always quick to respond. You always give me my reports on time. Yeah, so whenever anything comes up, I always think of you first.
Yeah.
So, okay, maybe now let's rework this. Let us say, recently I gave you more load, which is at times even outside your JD. Let me redistribute this load to other team,
people.
yes, other team members. Yes, so I think as the leaders, yes, the leader can be in an office. It can be a shop. That girl that is working for you. When do you let them go rest?
Yeah.
There are people who do not take leave. They do not take leave at work, day in, day out. No, that is not healthy.
I think also the when you talk about leave, I've had situations where employers force employees to take leave.
Yes.
And the other way around, where I've had incidents where I've walked to my boss, my supervisor, and I'm like, I think you're tired. Like, from the way you operate, I can tell that you're tired. You need a break.
And that goes back to the conducive environment, that you're free to speak up. Yeah.
So I think employees should be encouraged to take leave. Some people take leave and they feel guilty. They're like, oh, I'm not at work. I'm expected to be at work. No, it's your leave. You're entitled to it. You've worked for it, so you should take it. Whether it's 21 days, 30 days, you should take it and rest, and not rejuvenate. And when you rest, you don't rest to do other work. You rest to rejuvenate your body, so that you come back when you're thinking upright, you're mentally okay, you're physically okay. I think also another thing that I think about is to have open communication about some of these things. I've had scenarios where people for example, every weekly meeting, they ask you, how do you feel? And how can we help you? So if I tell you, Allen, I feel overwhelmed, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm at
Without
2.
waiting for
Yes,
performance appraisals.
yes. So if I'm at 2, you definitely know that you have to work with me, not really carefully, but be considerate. Be
I know.
considerate. If I tell you I'm at 2, that means I need support. If you can offer me whatever support, even if it's something as small as maybe reading through my report that I'm going through, so that I can work, that I'm writing, so that I can do some other thing, I think that works. And to have open communication, and also for people not to be judgmental, because we are all different. Alan, the way you work is different from the way I work. I might be a structured person. Another person might be different from structured. Maybe they are symbolic or whatever. So the way we work is different. So don't be like, oh, Doreen takes a nap at 1, but that girl is so entitled. That might be my one way of
You always take
rejuvenating myself.
breaks.
Yes.
Lunchtime,
Or
you take a
she
nap.
goes for a walk. That could be my simple self-care routine for me to get back. We've had scenarios where people get out at lunchtime and just walk. They don't even have lunch.
They're off the desk, off the
desk.
the laptop or computer, off the
Exactly.
phone, just to take a walk.
They just take a walk and then they come back very well rejuvenated. People will be like, ah, that girl, she behaves like a mzungu.
A white.
Why does she behave like a mzungu? But let's not create an environment where we are judging others, right? And to also have scenarios where we bring in people to talk to the employees. I've had cases where people come in and talk about, for example, sleep experts. They talk about, why is it important for you to sleep? I've watched several videos where they're telling us to sleep at least 7 to 9 or 8 to 9 hours for an adult. I know people thrive on saying, "Nah, sleep for 4 hours," but you're affecting yourself and you're working hard to put yourself in a burnout situation, because the brain, the body needs to rest. Yeah.
Yes. So when this body rests, one can just lie on the bed. They are in the couch in their living room, scrolling through the phone, TikTok or something. But they are taking that as rest.
Yeah.
But the head is still being worked.
Yes.
Yes. So by rest we mean you detach from all gadgets. You detach from everything else that drains your brain, and just rest. When you ask for that leave, are you really going to rest? Rest. And why are you feeling guilty for leave? I really, it baffles me. Why
I'm
people...
so guilty. I'm just going to say this. When I just started work many years ago, and then after the 6 months of probation, so my workmates were like, Doreen, by the way, you can ask for leave. I was like, me? You ask for leave? For how long have I worked here for me to like ask for leave? Even when I asked for leave, I would still call. I would still want to call and be like, "What are you guys up to?" So I was not detached. I was sorry to cut you short, but I was not detached from work. I still felt like I should know what is going on. I should know what is on the group these days. I don't know if it comes with maturity of being in a workspace, or it comes with
experience.
When I'm on leave, I am going to archive
You're
the
now
work
aware,
group.
self-aware.
I am not going to pick. I even tell them before I leave. I tell them, people, I'm leaving. I've left my handover note for the leave. Please don't call me unless someone is dying. And even if they are dying, I'm not a doctor.
Unless it's a matter of life and death. Yes. So people have got to understand that leave is very important. We've got people who have got to be reminded. There's a team that I once led, and there were these two people that always had to be reminded for them to take their leave. So by the end of the year, they've still not come to sign off for leave. And then you're asking them, when will you take your leave? Oh, no, madam, I'm okay. No, it's not okay. Then you'll start the new year with all the fatigue and exhaustion from the previous year, and then you're taking it to the next year. So people have got to understand that behind the title, behind everyone seated in a workspace is a human being who has got needs, who is got emotions to cater for. Yes, so people should not think they are robots or machines. Yes, so people have got to understand that there is a bar, there is a limit beyond which I can't cross.
Even the strongest need rest.
Yes, so people have got to set boundaries that when, for example, if I start getting migraines, this is my limit.
What is it telling me?
What is it? Which signal is it giving me? Yes, so understand your body, understand you, set boundaries for your mental well-being. Yes, your mental well-being has to come first. It's got to come because everything starts and ends in the mind.
In the mind.
Yes, so yes, you're a hard worker, you want to be, and there's a way hard workers are glorified and praised, that everyone wants to be attached to the hard work until they, before you know it, oh, so and so got a pressure attack. Like what? Wow.
I think also something that we need to point out is if you don't work on your burnout or your daily stressors, you will find that you're creating an environment that is not favorable for the other employees.
True.
Because you're going to come to work when you, for example, you have mood swings. You don't want to speak.
Very irritable. You don't want to
concentrate.
You're impatient with others.
You don't want to share your views. Probably you're someone that has been
in the company over the years,
has been relying on, and then you don't want to share your ideas. You've generally created an environment that is not favorable for other people to work and thrive. So at that point in time, maybe you need to sit back and reflect, and you're like, am I doing things right? If I'm not doing things right, can I then find a way? And always, I like it when people tell us to look for accountability partners. That you, for example, if I'm working with you, Alan, and you're my colleague or you're my supervisor, to help watch my behavior, just to watch me and how I be, and it can be a two-way. I can tell you, oh, Doreen, today you seem off. Is everything okay? Maybe I might be going through something, or maybe I might actually be suffering burnout, but when I've not realized that, because someone else has indicated it to me that I am going through something, then I might pause and like, okay, maybe I need to catch myself and be like, okay, maybe I behaved wrongly, or maybe I'm off. I need to rejuvenate. Therefore, I should either take leave, or I should take a break,
or I need counseling,
or even I need to just exercise, or even maybe change my diet. A lot of things contribute to our well-being and our stress. So yeah, I think accountability partners are also an important aspect in managing burnout.
True.
Yeah.
And it's very important for organizations to create very safe, psychologically safe workplaces. Yes, there's this company, you have the targets or numbers and all, but beyond everything, beyond the numbers and everything, it's got to be these people. The human capital brings you these numbers. So you've got to pay attention to these people. Yes, there's a department, this department is not performing well, but have you gotten to the root cause of all that? Probably this is a department that is overwhelmed. There are projects coming in each and every other time, and they're telling them, oh, now this project has just come through, you can't be taking leave. Yet they've just wind down one. So they feel like the project was too big to accomplish. Yes, they've brought it to a successful completion, but they need a break before they onboard another one. Yes, so as employers, as leaders, are you putting into consideration your workers before the results? Yes, if they're psychologically safe, if they're mentally well, then they'll give you better results. They'll give you better, they'll also live better anyway. Yes, so once they are well, then everything becomes automatic.
Yeah. I also think of like employers or bosses understanding the personal interest of individuals, different individuals, like employees. Alan, what makes you happy?
What motivates me?
What motivates you? What motivates me? What motivates John? What motivates Mary? And then in that way, you create avenues of motivating, of appraising, of appreciating people, because that's also one way of
It's a drive of
managing. Yeah,
burnout.
when human beings like to receive, we like to be gifted. Personally,
To
I
be
like
recognized,
to,
yeah.
yes, to be recognized and to be appreciated, even if it's just an end of month card or note or a simple voucher or anything, even if it's by word of mouth. I appreciate the work that you do. For me, I think that goes a mile. It goes a long way for human beings in managing burnout and everyday stress. Because when you appreciate even children, when you appreciate a child, you see there's a way they change.
I know. That reminds me of I some time back I spearheaded ISO certifications for one of the companies I've worked for, and at the end of year party, I didn't even think they would recognize me, but I was recognized, given an award, given a certificate, which I still hold very dearly.
Yes.
Yes, it didn't come with the monetary value, but it was so fulfilling to just to feel that I was appreciated, because it was really heavy that I would leave office at 9, 8 p.m.
So you can see you still remember.
Yes, I still remember.
It was a certificate. So imagine it is a workplace culture to make sure that people are motivated, they are appreciated. There's a 13th month, 13th check. Yeah,
yes.
13th check. Or there's a bonus, or whatever it is. It might not even be monetary. And also that helps create like a psychologically safe workspace. People feel like they are valued.
They are part of
They feel like there's that human need that you address as you do a lot of those things. And whenever you see that, and also you can tell from as a boss, you can tell when there's like less like when people are working for years and years at your workspace, you also have to pause and be like, what am I doing right? And if people are leaving every after 1 month, 2 months, we have big institutions where people just leave. You have to also pause and be like, what am I doing? What aren't I doing right? So you also assess that and see whether maybe people are just not comfortable. Maybe people don't feel valued. Maybe there's a lot of negative energy. Maybe there's a lot of corridor talk of
grapevine.
Yes. So you also have to assess all that.
That is very true. Yeah. So when a culture is set that people must rest, it's mandatory. Say by November, everyone should have everyone should have gone for leave. And say by first quarter or second quarter, everyone should have submitted their, say, leave days, so that HR creates a rota for everyone. Say so and so, maybe head of operations will be on leave on this day. So head of operations cannot be on leave at the same time with the head of say, finance.
Yeah.
So that way it keeps us, it also helps the leaders to plan accordingly. Yes. So what culture have these employers set?
Yes.
So the culture, like you said, if it's a culture where people just burn out, they get stressed, they're not heard out, no one hears them out, of course they'll get tired and just leave. That's where you start holding meetings, wondering we are losing good resource to our competitors. What exactly? But it's the culture that you've set.
I also wanted to point out the issue of sick leave, where someone falls sick and maybe an employer is still pushing them to work without considering their physical well-being. I think that's also a very important aspect for spaces to have sick leave and for people to get off and be sick, because we are human beings, we fall sick.
Leaders should be empathetic.
Yes, people should not be guilty tripped for falling sick and taking some days off, because when you don't do that, that's also a biggest contributor of burnout. Yeah.
So someone is pushed to go to the workplace, yet they are not well.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, it will even show in the productivity.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's a big one also. Yes. So in a nutshell, when the mind is taken good care of, we live better, we work better, we lead better. Yes. So when all these aspects that we've talked about are taken into consideration and implemented in the right way, we will not have workplace burnout. We will work better with others, we will lead better, we will live better, and we'll have better productivity.
So if this message resonated with you, workplace burnout, if you feel like we're talking about someone you know or yourself, you're going through it, we hope that you share it widely, because we believe that physical, mental, and emotional well-being is an important aspect in making sure that there's high productivity, but people are doing well in every aspect and contributing towards workplace key performance indicators. Thank you very much. I remain Doreen from Everything Mentor.
Allen, bye. Till next time.
Bye.